identified demonstrator Mark Hughes, who was legally carrying a rifle during the protest, as a suspect in the case. After the shooting, Hughes promptly turned over his legal firearm to authorities, who later turned himself into authorities once he learned his photograph had been made public in connection with the shooting. Joining me now is Mark Hughes and his brother, Cory Hughes, and I want to start by saying it is great relief to see you safe after last night. That was a big, terrifying moment. Take me through what happened last night.
Well, I decided to come to a protest. I wore my firearm. Everything was peaceful. It was an enjoyable moment, and then chaos broke out. Once chaos broke out, hours later, I found out that I was a suspect of murdering some police officers.
How did you find out that your picture was circulating as a suspect?
I received a phone call. That I had just been seen on a media outlet, which it didn't surprise me because my brother had just did an interview and I was in the background. So I took it as they were telling me they seen me on the news, and they notified me that, no, you were a suspect in the shooting.
You saw that image of your brother circulating, and what did you do then, Cory?
Well, you know, I went into panic mode, number one, and then I went into defense mode. You know, I thought it was imperative at that time for me to reach out to the authorities and let the authorities know that, hey, my brother was accounted for. The weapon that he brought down, he turned over to the law enforcement when chaos broke out, and I thought it was important for me to clear his name immediately because I was afraid for his life. Again, you know, like I've been telling people all day, we were here protesting a young man that was killed by the cops because he was legally carrying a firearm. And so to heighten things, the cops are being shot at here in Dallas. He's a young black man with a gun. Let me hurry up and let them know that it wasn't him.
What was going when the shots rang out? I mean, it seems so, from the folks that we've talked to and the coverage we've seen, it just seems so unthinkable to everyone there. I mean, what was flashing through your mind when you heard that sound?
Well, I actually didn't hear the sound. Where I was at in the crowd, we couldn't hear it. We just seen a multitude of people running back. I actually thought it was maybe a fight that had happened. So I actually didn't hear any shots rang out.
But I heard them. It was quite scary. You know, I was in the front of the protest with some of the other organizers, and we were actually ending a peaceful night of protesting, and then you heard just rapid fire, some louder, some quicker in succession, and you know, the first thing I thought was Orlando. You know, I thought someone had come in and started shooting, and I didn't know what direction he was coming from, and so once I kind of got my bearings, I took off running and started instructing people to go back the opposite direction, and after that, my next thought was, let me find him so we can make sure we get this firearm into the authorities' possession.
You described the night of protest as peaceful, which everyone has talked about and shown pictures of. I mean, talk about the protest before those shots rang out.
Well, I think it was just a moment of us being in unity and letting the citizens of Dallas know that we stand with Ferguson, we stand with Louisiana, we stand with Minnesota, because some of the same issues they have there, we have here, except for a lot of them hadn't been caught on camera. And so we wanted to let people know that, you know, we stand in solidarity with them and that we are provoking change as well. So it was a great time. It was a great time. It was blacks, it was whites, Latinos, different faith-based organizations were here. And it was one of those moments where the crowd was energized. There was a lot of momentum. We were marching. The cops were friendly with us because they understood our cry. And then just chaos broke out.
I want to ask you a question. I've covered the open carry movement here in Texas and have actually interviewed open carry activists. Texas is the 45th state to institute open carry. There's a lot of people who saw that picture and saw, why would you bring that gun to a protest?
Because it's my right. I have the right to bear arms. So I didn't see an issue with it. That's like asking me, why would I put a shirt on? I have a right to put a shirt on.
And if allowed, Chris, let me speak further to that. You know, we've had the privilege of traveling to other protests, and there's always a group of white men with guns exercising their Second Amendment right, and it's never a threat, it's never a problem, they're never targeted, but it just seems to me to be quite a coincidence, or maybe not so much coincidence, that the one young black man that had a gun becomes a prime suspect for the country when something like this happens.
All right, Cory Hughes.